Hello, darlings. Welcome, welcome. It is the full moon in Aquarius, Boss Witch Business Lab full moon call, our full moon circle. So we have a lot of fabulous things going on right now. But the basic theme for today, because the full moon is actually not peaking until Wednesday morning for me, so we've got a little bit, but the theme is human signals in a very noisy world, which is very important right now, because we are properly into Leo season, which means the focus has shifted. Right, we are no longer in like kind of Cancer season energy, and we're moving like way more towards visibility, creativity, with joy, yes, personal expression, and remembering that being seen is not the same as performing for approval and or peanuts. So we are definitely into Leo season, which I'm here for, obviously, because your girl is a Leo. So that is my thing, and I love it. But this is a big one because the full moon is in its axis in Aquarius, which the axis is basically sitting opposite the Leo energy. So the sky is doing that very helpful thing where it puts tension in right in front of us and says, there you go, deal with it. Thanks so much. So Leo basically says, as I've explained, create, express, be seen, put your fucking heart into it, put your back into it, like millennial reference there. But then Aquarius goes, hold on, zoom out. Like, look at the collective. What is this? Is this good for the system? Is this good for the collective? Like, is this good for the future? And like, look at the weird technological dystopia that is forming in the corner, and doing weird things. So it's like, oh, okay. So we've got that, like, yes, let's show up, let's shine, let's be fabulous. And then the full moon is like, hold on a minute. I feel like it's a little bit, can be a little bit autistic. But it is just going like, yep, okay, this is what I need to tell you. Because this isn't just about visibility, particularly because we have the full moon. I mean, you've got a whole fucking Leo season for visibility, let's be honest. And we've done visibility. We're always doing visibility because apparently the internet refuses to sell our offers telepathically, like, which is rude. And like, you know, I've shared it once. Why isn't anyone buying? Yeah, like we know the deal. We've got to show up. But it is about the deeper question that is under the visibility of it all, which is, what is the human signal in my work? Okay, why am I asking that? Well, we are in the age of AI, first of all. So what makes your message yours? What can't be scraped, copied, templated, generated, automated, regurgitated, optimized, or like kind of color washed into a very beige looking thing, into something that is like completely soulless, nothing to do with you, but it is a piece of content. Like, let's not do that, because as I said, we are in the age of AI, and AI technology is moving very fast. It's continually updating, and I do feel sometimes a little bit we are getting closer and closer to Skynet. But it's fine. I love AI. Don't kill me in my sleep. But people are overwhelmed. Like, tech is moving really fast. The internet is very loud, and it is louder than ever. I remember when the internet began. I remember when Google began. I'm older than Google, which makes me sad. But like, we can feel when we're doing this that our creativity is being flattened into thinner than a fucking crepe pancake. Like, under this full moon, like, plus you've got Pluto in Aquarius in retrograde, I believe. Let me check. Yes. So that is like having a moment with that. Then the sun in Leo with Jupiter in Leo, we're looking at this tension between big systems, big tech systems, and individual expression. So the collective and the creator. So the macro and the micro, the algorithm and the artist, the content machine and the person behind the work. So we're not looking at this moon as a way to panic about the future. It is more about kind of realizing that you're not here to compete with a machine. You're really not. You're here to remember what only you can bring to the table. So please do take a breath. If you've listened and you're like, oh my God, that is so much to take in. Yes, it is. It really is. I have definitely had a few moments over this last week. I've been struggling with fibro burnout for over a week, and I'm bored of it already. So I understand. So let's please, all of us collectively, let's take a breath. Oh. Let's take a less dramatic breath. And the next breath that you take, when you breathe in, say, I'm here. And then you breathe out and say, I am real. We are going on that starting point tonight. Okay, tonight, this afternoon, this evening, whenever you are watching this. We're not looking at perfect. We are not looking at polished. We are looking at real. So, for the collective reading, I would like to pull around Leo and Aquarius and their axes and the tension between being part of the collective without losing your own creative expression and your own creative pulse inside of it. So these two questions, and we're going to see the first one, first of all. So what part of my work, voice, or creativity is ready to be seen more clearly? So what's part of my creativity or my work being ready to be seen more clearly? And then what collective noise, pressure, or comparison needs less power over me? Oh, girl, we all need that. Okay, interesting. So the first card is showing you the human signal. So that is the thing that wants more space, more trust, more honesty, visibility. So it might point to your message. It might point to your story, your style, your sense of humor, your lived experience, your creativity, your leadership, your teaching voice, or the part of you that has been waiting for permission. So the first card, the human signal. King of Wands. Are you showing up in your business? Like, are you showing up? Are you being like, yes, look, this is my business. These are the things that I can help you with. Why aren't you with me? Like, it is not a Leo card. It is an Aries card. So you can see there, it's an Aries card. It's a sun card. It is showing up. It is the vision. It is big dick energy, as we know, with the King of Wands. But it is also like, I'm showing up as the visionary. I'm showing up as the entrepreneur. It is the kind of mundane version of the emperor. So it is like you are showing up as, you should be motivated. I know motivation is fleeting, which it absolutely is. But are you motivated to try and take an action every day? Like, so are you excited to share part of your work, part of your vision, part of your voice, part of your creativity? Like, are you like ready to do that? Do you need work around it? Because this is also a third eye chakra card. All kings are the third eye chakra. So do you have a clear path of what you want to do? Because wands is also planning. Like, are you like in that, not necessarily a rigid structure, but the next one gives you structure. This is more about like, are you taking the actions and being proud of what you do, of how you show up? Because if you're not like doing that, if you are just like, oh yeah, well, I'm just going through the motions, then have a fucking word. Like, have a word with yourself. This is the perfect opportunity to show up and shine. Like, being the fact that we are in Leo season, being the fact that Mercury retrograde has ended. We are in the post shadow, but some of us get more effective than others. But like, work with it. You've still got until the mid-August to fuck about with this. It only started last week. It's like not even a week ago. So you've got time. So the collective noise, the pressure, comparison, like all of that shit, what needs less power over you? So the second card shows you your noise, the pressure to keep up, the copy, compare, overconsume, sound like everybody else, panic about AI, about sounding like AI, chasing like different platforms, obeying the algorithm because the algorithm is fucking bullshit. Or just basically trying to contort yourself into something, some kind of shape that is more marketable. Like, bollocks, be you, because that's what people love. And so this one is another wands card. So this is reverse 5 of wands. And so this is like where you are, basically you're compromising your authentic voice and your authentic power because you want to be marketable. Why are you doing that? She said, I'm doing exactly the same thing. It's fine. I feel very called out by this. So we do need to look at that and go, all right, what structures, what systems have I put in place that I am rebelling against? Because the 5s are some kind of conflict. And the 5 of wands is pure conflict. It is literally people fighting. Like, they are fighting with shit, but it's not necessarily just conflict. It can be a challenge. You can look at things from a different perspective. So being in reverse, this is usually like the end of a struggle, the end of a conflict, and like going like with people making a compromise. But are you compromising your opinions that might get you seen? Your opinions, the things, the shit that you've got to say that might get you like on somebody's radar, that they're like, fuck yeah, that's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to learn about. That's what I want to do. Like, where are you like absorbing other people's bullshit and or trying to like regurgitate it out into something that isn't yours when you've got big dick energy on your side that you can just go, you know what, I'm gonna say the shit I need to say. And this 5 of wands is also a throat chakra card, so it is speaking your fucking truth and speaking your truth loudly with intention. So like, just consider the fact that yes, like, we invited these cards in, they are very spicy, and I understand if you're like, I'm so tired, Carla-Jayne. Yes, I know, we are all tired. I'm going to take a picture of these, but I understand. But we have to do things that we don't like to do when we are tired, because such is life. I'm trying to do it so there's not too much glare. There we go. All right. Now, do I need to fuck about with it? Yes, I do. Please hold. Save. Okay. And then I'm going to send it to myself. Yes. So there we go. That is done. So take action. Do the things. Stop fannying about. Yeah, she said to herself as well as to you. All right. Let's talk about astrological weather, because there's a lot of it. There's always a lot of it. So the full moon in a couple of days is going to be in Aquarius. We're in Leo season. There is already that big axis for anyone who creates, teaches, leads, performs, shares, sells, whatever. Like anybody basically who puts pieces of themselves into their work. Like Leo is that individual spark. It is the heart. All right. It's the stage. It's the creative fire. It's the courage to be seen. The personal brand, the yes, this is mine, I made it energy. Okay. But the Aquarius axis is the collective system. It's the internet. It is technology. It's community. It is future thinking, innovation, networks, movements, big ideas, and a mildly unsettling feeling that the world is updating a bit faster than we are able to cope with. So said every millennial everywhere. So like the full moon also has a close connection with Pluto in Aquarius. Okay, and then you've got the sun is with Jupiter in Leo. So there is a strong contrast here between the power of systems, tech and data, and the collective forces, and then the individual expression, creativity, visibility, and heart-led leadership. And it does feel very on the nose for how we are as a collective right now. There's a lot of stuff going on. There might be more conversations around AI, like big tech, data and creativity, as well as ownership. And what happens to human-made work in a world that is being very, very good at generating endless AI output. So it can kind of bring up the fear that your work doesn't matter, or that you can't keep up, or that your creativity is too slow, too human, too messy, or too specific, maybe even too emotional, too niche, too fucking whatever. But that is the point. Your humanness is not the flaw in the system. That is what cannot be replicated. All right. It can be like, it's almost like a pastiche. If you've ever studied like the difference between like parody, pastiche, and like just blatant copying. Pastiche is like a beige version. Like parody is obviously a funny version. And like your humanness is really, really hard to recreate. It's really hard to recreate. Like AI can generate, systems can organize, tech can accelerate things, algorithms can distribute to the right people, but none of it replaces lived experience. It doesn't replace emotional intelligence, your timing, your instinct, your intuition, your taste, your discernment, your real connection, or the way something lands, because it came from a person with a life. And spiritual business owners, coaches, readers, teachers, creators, like all of this, it really matters. Like particularly now, your work is not just information. It's not just content. It's not just tips with a fucking infographic. It is your way of seeing, your experience, your patterns, your humor, your edges, your stories, your weird little obsessions that somehow become useful because you're the one that's translating them. I will say this until my dying breath. I fucking love using things like Marvel and Doctor Who as like explanations of things because it's relatable. Leo season basically reminds us to create from the heart, not from the fear of becoming irrelevant. We don't need to continue this consistent fucking output of like dross. That's the only way that I can kind of like, yeah, I know like most people go, oh, AI slop, right? And it's become a very triggery word for a lot of people. But what sometimes you see in like in people's stuff, like you can pick out AI stuff that hasn't been like edited. You can pick it out like a mile off. But yes, like considering like I do use AI to help me to structure my notes for what I'm doing, because I have a lot of information that I plug in and I'm like, help me fucking organize this. Like, but then you've got like the Leo season that's like, yes, create. Like, let's show me your heart, show me your soul. And then Jupiter in Leo amplifies this even more. Like Jupiter gives expansion. It gives you confidence because it's in Leo, creativity, expression, visibility, storytelling, ideas, and a bigger appetite for being known. Even if you are an introvert, that's okay. And it can be really fabulous for creative work, like for your offers, for your launches, for your performance, your teaching, and like letting your work feel alive. But Jupiter in Leo can also expand in another way. It can inflate things. Like hype gets louder, big promises get bigger, and then people might confuse confidence with substance. So we want to use this energy well, because Jupiter in Leo, on the inflation side of things, you might end up like getting carried away, and like the hype becomes overhype, and then the big promises get promises that you can't deliver. So we're not looking at the look at me for the sake of it. We're looking at like, this is what I stand for, this is what I create, and this is why it matters. So over the next couple of days, we do have a very interesting transit. I don't normally talk about these smaller transits, but I feel like it's very it's appropriate to talk about today, because we do have the Sun conjunct in Jupiter from tonight. So that goes on my time. Where is it? 10:36 Central Time until July 30, 3:58 p.m. Central Time. So like this conjunct, so Sun with Jupiter, it is a gorgeous window for growth, right? For optimism, for courage, for visibility, and breathing life into something connected to a bigger vision. It is not a panic launch window, okay? It is a cosmic green light to take yourself and your creative ideas seriously. So if you get flashes of inspiration, use them now. Schedule them out. If you're like, yep, excellent, give them to your VA if you have one. If you don't have one, then put them somewhere that you will use. Put a fucking date in the calendar that you're going to be like, yep, I'm going to schedule this because I'm just on a creative role right now, and I need to, like, you'll still have the energy of it even if you're not posting during this particular transit. It's okay. You can then post later on. It's not a problem. Like, for example, tomorrow, so Tuesday the 28th, between 1:10 a.m. and 8:45 p.m. Central Time, there is a big ass void moon. If I have spoken to you about void moons before, fabulous. If I don't, snapshot. They are basically like when the moon doesn't have a sign that it sits in, so it's a void. And so anything that you post, anything that you share with people, is probably not going to get listened to. It's like, it's a big mirror. So everything that you try and do, it's going to bounce back to you. So just be aware of that. Sometimes we have big void moons, and they are like, you have to kind of navigate. So that's like one of the things that I do with one of my services is to show people where in their like if they've got like launch dates and stuff, I will say, okay, this is a void moon. You don't want to do your initial launch posts now. Like, it's fine to do the content then, but don't like schedule your shit out during a void moon. Don't do a live, because people won't hear it. They just won't hear it. Okay, so next up is Mercury being now out of main retrograde, thank fuck. But it is not fully clear until August 6th. So we do have another week and a half. Yes, a week and a half. So we are in the laptop is no longer on fire situation, but I still need to back my shit up. Like communications are improving. We are learning. We are like, okay, I've reviewed. I can now go back and repair. There may still be cleanup. There may still be need for clarity, for follow-up, for rebuilding trust. And like just making sure there's no like tiny admin gremlins that are hanging around. So we also have a big bully boy on the scene that started yesterday. Saturn stationed retrograde in Aries. Okay, so this is going to bring a review because we know retrograde, it's not fucking panic stations. Do not get it twisted. It's like we're looking at reviews. Okay, review, refine, regroup, all of this shit, but it's around pressure, around your productivity, the actions that you are taking, how you are pushing through things, your burnout, like anger, stress, and like basically the expectations that you put on yourselves and constant, like to be able to constantly make things happen. Like that's not sustainable. Like this is not the time as well to turn Leo season into a performance cage, right? Saturn in retrograde in Aries basically says, is your drive coming from leadership or internalized pressure? So like, where is it coming from? Is it somebody with a fucking clipboard that's in your brain that's not you? That's like, oh yeah, you should be doing this. Shut up. Okay, so just be aware. And then on August 6th, we've got this is like obviously going in. So Mercury goes fully direct, but then Venus moves into Libra on the same day. So it should bring a much needed relationship balance. So relationships not just with personal and or romantic. This is also with business, with clients, with all of that jazz. Basically anybody you have a connection with. So things like smoother conversations, a desire to make things feel a bit fairer, a bit calmer and a bit more beautiful. We do love a Libra. She says, I have like a 7th house stack in Libra. I have so many planets in Libra in the 7th house. Like my 7th house that actually covers like two signs. It's Virgo and Libra, but it also, the 7th house is ruled by Libra. So it is like, yeah, there's all of that shit. So it is good. It is a lovely sign for Venus to be in, because it feels good in that particular thing. So love and money, self-worth, it can feel all of those feels. And then August 9th, Mercury moves into Leo, which brings the voice back to the heart. So then you've got communication that becomes like more bold. All right. You've got warmth, you've got more expression, more confidence. And this is great for speaking, great for teaching, great for lives, for classes, for sales, for storytelling, and saying the thing like you actually fucking mean it as well, which is great. And then we have the Leo new moon eclipse coming up. I swear those eclipses are just getting like earlier and earlier on in the year. But that's just how they go because our Gregorian calendar coupled with the actual lunar calendar doesn't match up. So things move and shift. And yes, because it's 28.5 days for a lunar calendar. Anyway, so I am going to go deeper into eclipse season during the Tarot School New Moon call, because there is a lot to cover with eclipse work and whether or not you want to do anything with it. So we're not going to get drawn into eclipse prep right now. So we're going to keep our focus on the full moon, and to think about what part of my human creativity, my voice and leadership needs to stop shrinking in response to the noise that is external to me. Okay, that is the work for this full moon. Are we good? I hope we're good. I am feeling fabulous about this one. Okay, so let's talk about that you are not here to compete with the machine. So the moon is going to hit a lot of people with the feeling that they're probably not saying out loud, which is, what is the fucking point of creating when everything is so noisy? And I get it, because a lot of people have content overwhelm. And so you write something and then 10 minutes later, the feed has eaten it. It's gone. You can't see it. It's like, okay, so you have an idea, and somebody else has already turned it into a carousel, a podcast, a freebie, a mini course, a vaguely aggressive fucking webinar. And you finally get your head around one platform, and then another feature appears, and then another trend starts, another AI tool decides to pop up, and suddenly you're wondering if you're running a business or trying to survive in a haunted branch of Curry's. If you're not in the UK, that's also known as Best Buy. I have no idea what it is in not Australia. I've only got New Zealanders in here. I don't know. Whatever place where you get your computers from. So you've also got your, sorry, I go on little tangents about random shit and make myself laugh. Then you've got your AI piece, which is amazing. It's useful. Yes, it can help. Yes, I use it pretty much every day. And then I am also then worried about the environmental impact, but I try to use it intentionally. And because it can speed things up. We're not pretending that we live in a field, okay? But it can make people feel that their own creative process is too slow or too messy. Like they can't produce at machine speed, that they're falling behind. That is where I want us to pause. Human creativity is not inefficient just because it has a body and does things slower. Please let that land for a second. I'm letting it land in my body as well. Your ideas, they need lived experience. They need digestion. They need taste. They need a random story from 2014 that suddenly makes the whole teaching like land perfectly to that one person. It needs your face. It needs your timing, your sense of humor, your boundaries, your contradictions, your values, your I know this because I lived it energy. It needs all of that. And that is not a weakness. That is the fucking point. Aquarius helps us to look at the systems. Leo reminds us not to disappear into these systems. So the question is not, how do I keep up with everything? The question in that way is going to leave you exhausted. The better question is, what part of my work becomes more value or more valuable even because it is human? Maybe it's your stories. Maybe it's your way of explaining things. I know that's part of mine. Maybe it's the fact that you can read a room. Again, I can read a room, mostly. Maybe it's your humour. Maybe it's your eye for nuance, your lived experience, your ability to connect the dots that other people miss. Maybe it's the way that you make people feel seen without turning yourself into a doormat. Or into the main event, because I've noticed a lot of people do that. And yes, I do generally tend to tie a lot of my stuff back to it, my stories, my experience, but I'm trying to share it as a relatable thing. And if you get tired of that, please tell me, because I would rather just be like, okay, let me pull other people's actions, reactions, universal truths, all of that shit into it. Because if you don't really want to hear about me, then that's fair. Like, I'd rather I knew But like this full moon is basically saying, hey, you've got the systems. Like, you don't need to reject technology completely. That's not practical. And frankly, some of us enjoy doing a spreadsheet. Okay, we do. Where's my thing? I got given a gift. Relax, I have a spreadsheet for that. Because I do. I fucking love a spreadsheet. But like, it's just this full moon coupled with obviously Aquarius and then coupled with Leo is asking you to stop handing over your originality to the systems. Use the tools, don't become the tool. All right? Do you see where we're going with this? I feel like this is very, very poignant for a lot of people. And I feel like I might have to share this. Because I think everybody needs to know, like, what the fuck is going on. So I might just be like, hey, if you want this, like, I will send it to you. Because, damn, like, this is very, yeah. Okay, so if you're watching this on replay, fabulous. Okay, so now we're going into release work. So release work is not about hiding, okay, or deciding like that technology is evil and we should all communicate by crow or smoke signals. It is about releasing the places where collective noise has started dictating your creative choices. So things like the pressure to keep up, the pressure to sound clever, the pressure to produce original content constantly. I struggle with that a lot. The pressure to make your work more palatable, more clickable, more polished, more scalable, more acceptable to a system that often rewards bland, beige, boring consistency over depth. So I do have some journal prompts that I would love you to go through. So I'm going to talk with the boss witches in here, and this might go on YouTube. This might go on YouTube. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so journal prompt 1. Where have I started creating for the algorithm instead of for my people? For my people. My motherfucking people. Sorry. There we go. Missy Elliott in there because we love Missy. All right, so what part of my voice have I flattened to make more acceptable? I've definitely done that. Where am I comparing my human pace to machine speed? Because let's be honest, unless we are fucking Rain Man, it ain't gonna happen. What do I secretly believe is too weird, too personal, or too specific to share? I think I have one thing that is too personal. You don't need to tell everything. You really don't. You don't need to say everything about your entire personal life on the internet. Right? You really don't. And that's one thing out of my life. I think some people know, some people don't. I don't care. But everything else, hashtag can't relate for that one, because I do share pretty much everything of my life. I'm an open book for most of it, unless you ask me to my face, and then I will probably tell you. Ask me a question. I like talking about myself. What can I say? All right, I'm going to keep going. We've got 3 more. Where have I confused visibility with performance? What noise do I need to stop treating as instruction? Oh yes, the doom scroll. You do this, do this, do this. Meh, 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 meh. Shut up, shut up. Okay, and what part of my work can only come from me? That's going to be your relatable stories. Okay, your relatable stories, your lived experience. People buy from people. Okay, with your journal prompts, give yourself space to write, but don't let it become an overthinking festival. Please don't. Aquarius can take one question and build it into a fucking dissertation. Okay? Don't do that to yourself. Keep bringing yourself back to the body and the heart. Ground yourself. Take a moment. Please. So this will also be inside the portal. And then depending on where I share this, I may also put these questions in particular in there, but we'll see. I don't know. Depends how much work I want to do. Okay, so we are now into the ritual part of the full moon call. So you are going to need a paper and a pen. You can add a candle, something gold or yellow for Leo, something silver or blue for Aquarius, and honestly, just like whatever is nearest that isn't an old receipt and a lip balm. Okay, you don't need too much, and you really don't need to overcomplicate it. A paper and a pen is fine. If you want to add in a candle, if you do not have a gold, yellow, silver or blue something, then that's okay. If you only have a white candle, that's fine. If you want to carve in to the candle, if it's a tea light or if it's one of these bad boy candles, you could literally, oh, it smells so good. You could literally get a pin, or my favorite one is ruining my fucking tweezers and like drawing the Leo symbol. You could do some fire. You could do Aquarius symbol is much easier because it's literally zigzags. Like Leo is a little bit harder, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It's fine. Anyway, get your pen and paper. Draw a circle in the middle of the page. You want to make sure that this circle is big enough that you can write things on the inside and on the outside. Okay, so my human signal, you're going to write inside the circle. And then outside of the circle, write the noise that you are releasing. So this can be like, for example, AI panic, comparison, like anything bullshit, pressure around the algorithm. Like you're not a slave to the algorithm, it's fine. Overconsumption, overwhelm of content, copying other people's strategy, making everything super polished, waiting until it's perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. Hiding behind research. Yep, I do that. Trying to sound more professional than you actually are. I don't do that. I don't care. But like turning your work into like content fucking, not slop, what's the word? Gruel. That it's just like, it's just boring, bland, and meh. We don't want to do that. Okay, so inside of the circle, you're going to write 3 or more things that make your work yours. So some examples would be your lived experience, your humor, your intuition, your story or stories, your teaching style, your way with metaphors. My one is my way with trying to put nerdy references in things and shit. So also things like your voice, your values, your taste, your ability to say things in your way. So I say things pretty plainly. I try not to sugarcoat shit. Your creativity, your refusal to turn into anything that is beige and boring. Because who does that? Mediocre white men. That's who does that. We don't do that. We're not here for that. And then you're going to choose one of those things. So if you've done more than 3 things, that's fine. But just choose one of those things into, and we're going to turn it into a short statement. So, for example, my stories are part of the work. I trust my voice. My creativity has value because it's mine. My work does not need to sound like everyone else's to be useful. My humanness is not a flaw in my business. And then you're going to place your hand over the circle and your statement and say, I release the noise that makes me doubt my signal. I choose the work that only I can create. I let my voice, story, and creativity take up space. Then circle the statement that you wrote and keep it somewhere visible for the next few days. That is going to be your creative anchor for the week. And you can do this anytime. Doesn't necessarily have to be during the full moon. Okay, these exercises are for any time. And if you only have a pen and paper, that's okay. Stop fucking overcomplicating things. Anyway, after the ritual, you are going to bring it into action. This is our integration piece. Because claiming your human signal is lovely, but at some point, the human signal does need to leave the drafts folder. Okay. So ask yourself, what is one visible thing that I can share this week that sounds unmistakably like me? We are not polishing it to death. We are not running it through 17 filters and 2 AI platforms until it has the emotional depth of a fucking teaspoon. You choose one. All right. You're going to choose a story post about something that you care about, a behind the scenes thought from your work, a live or a voice note, like around teaching something, a client lesson or a personal lesson with privacy respected, obviously. And if you get the fact that I'm saying obviously like Snape, I love you. Here's what I'm noticing post. A playful sneak peek of an offer, a very bold and probably polarizing point of view. I'm going to be doing one of those shortly. And a small piece of work that you've been overthinking. We are not looking at making you a content machine. You are not about producing more and more and more content. It's about letting one piece of work carry more of your signal. Aquarius wants community and future vision. Leo wants heart and expression. So your sweet spot. How can I share something personal enough to be real and useful enough to serve? Take a moment to think about that, because that is your line in the sand. So for our portal, I do have the human signal spread. So you can pull tarot cards, you can pull oracle cards, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Obviously, Boss Witch ladies, you do have access to the tarot school. So if you are like, I don't fucking know what this means, then you can always go into the tarot school and ask. We practice together. So the human signal spread is 5 cards. There is a shorter version if you haven't got time, because I know I like to keep things simple. So there is a 3-card version of it as well that will be in your portal. And then I will also have journal prompts for you. There are many of them. I actually don't know how many I've got there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Also, Gen Xers will love me for that little earworm that you've got there now. Okay, so we are into the closing of our call. So the full moon, basically, we're not about rejecting the future. Let's not do that. Like, the future is bright, the future is orange. If anybody gets that as well, you probably live in the UK. So it's basically saying, like, this full moon energy is like, don't disappear inside of the systems and the tools. Technology keeps moving. It's going to keep moving. Platforms are going to keep changing. AI is going to keep doing its weird little fucking tap dance, like this robotic blah, 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 like across every single industry. Like it's fair, like that happens. The internet is gonna continue to be both miraculous and really fucking annoying. Like everyone's got a fucking access to the internet now, haven't they? So it's like it's gonna be there. I mean, I was there when the internet became mainstream. I mean, like I can't say that I was there when the internet was born because the internet's been around a lot longer than I've been born. But it's been widely available. I remember dial-up. It was a thing, but things are moving at lightning speed for us here. So just be okay with that, and just be okay with the fact that you won't be the one to catch up with it all. You can pick up on things, that's fine. Your job is not to keep up with every single thing. No, it's not. Your job is to know what's yours. Your voice, your stories, your instinct, your creative pulse, your values, the way that you translate the work, and your human presence. That is the bit that you need to protect, the bit that you strengthen, the bit that you let be seen. That was really terrible grammar, but you know what I mean. So I have a little mantra for you. My humanness is not a flaw in my work. It is my signal. So I would love you to either pop in the group if you are watching this and you're a part of the Boss Witch Business Lab, or if you are watching this and there is a way that you can comment, please put down in the comments what part of your human signal are you choosing to trust more? And what's one thing that you are sharing this week that sounds more like you? You do not need to outproduce the AI machine. You really don't. You really don't. You just need to stop fucking watering down your message, the part of your work that only a human could make. That is where your magic is. Okay, Boss Witch Business Lab loves. Your next call is on Thursday, 30th of July. So we have our expansion call. So today is Monday, 27th. And so I will see you again on Thursday. Then we have the Tarot School Q&A. This is moved from Tuesday, the 3rd of August to Thursday, 6th of August, because I am at a sexual health and feminine health conference thing. It's called Stimulate. I'm very excited about it. But that is going to be going on Tuesday, so I won't be able to do a call then. And then we have the Tarot School New Moon call in Leo, which is on Tuesday, the 11th of August. This one, as I said earlier, we're talking about the eclipse. So we're going to go much deeper into eclipse season over there. So, my loves, focus on your authentic voice, your experience, and don't get swallowed by the machine. Let's rage against the machine. Fuck you. I won't do what you tell me. I'm going to leave you with that. Okay, bye.